Sup guys, it's your boy Justin. This is going to be a quick graphic novel review. Today I'm reviewing the Witcher Classic Collection from Dark Horse Books. This goes for 30 US, 40 Canadian. This collects the first 6 issues of a comic series from like 1993 through 1995 that was originally published in Poland by Polish artists and writers, which adapts stories from the Witcher book series and actually has some original stories. Like there's a story in here where where you get to see the Geralt's parents, which that's his mom who's a sorceress and his dad. What was his dad's name again? I read this I read this over a period of 2 weeks. Oh, his mom was Vizinia, and what was his dad's name? It was Corvic or something. Corin. Yeah, I think his name's Corin. Yeah, Corin. Who was like a mercenary kind of sellsword, which is funny. In the books, he was supposed to be they said he was a swashbuckler, but I don't know. So you got a cool like story with them. So this book collects like the first collects 6 stories. The Road of No Return. That's the story where Geralt's parents met. Betrayal, Geralt, The Lesser Evil, The Last Wish, and The Bounds of Reason. So I'll show you some of the artwork. I really like the artwork, even though it's obviously the aesthetic is not as good as in the obviously the artwork is probably not as good as it would, in like modern comics. It's still, the art style is pretty cool. It reminds me of like Conan the Barbarian, and there's some high fantasy stuff as well, right? And and there's stuff here that will probably, you can see where like the Netflix show and the Netflix movies like drew inspiration. Like there's a story in here, Betrayal, where where Netflix totally ripped off that story for the Nightmare of the Wolf animated film, where that was supposed to be about that. In that movie they made it about Geralt's like mentor, which, what was his name again? Vesemir. Where in the actual book it was about young Geralt, right? And how sorcerers were tricking the kings to wipe out the Witcher schools, because the Witcher schools were killing the monsters and making mages obsolete, right? You have like a really cool story with the Lesser Evil, where you have this like rogue, princess who was supposed to be like a sympathetic character in the book, but here they actually made her like kind of evil, and like where she was like, oh yeah, she was like lying when she said like she got something bad happened to her in the woods from like an assassin when she was a kid. Right. So also there's lots of sex appeal, there's nudity, there's a lot of the dark humor you expect from that. A lot of the dark humor and vulgarity that you would see in the actual books is in here as well. Though there's like one thing in the book, where in this graphic novel, where it's like where an elf accuses a human of racism, and is like, dude, like the fucking if I don't know if this was a thing in the games. I don't know if it's a thing in the books, but like, yeah, in the games it was like, oh yeah, and like the elves and the dwarves were pretty, and like they even say in this book where like a lot of the non-human races were brought to almost near extinction, where there's like the bad guys in the first book are like like beast men and like lizard men that were like were driven to extinction, right? There's, you see where yeah, that's one of the werebubs, which is like a beast man. Yeah. What are they called? The lizard men in this book? I can't remember, dude. But yeah. The book is actually funny as fuck, especially with the last story, The Bounds of Reason, where you have this like hodgepodge group where these like hillbilly we don't want to see that. You got these hillbilly peasants, which I love how they draw pretty much everybody that isn't a main character, like ugly as hell. Where you have these like hillbillies try to slay a dragon by poisoning it with a goat, only to piss it off, and goes through a rampage through the area, right? And there's like these two, like there's a joust going on where you have this huge group of people, mages, like reavers, dwarves, and this nobleman is two like bodyguards, and they all see this dragon, decide to go and kill it, right? And it's like you got some pretty funny stuff with, and you have some cameos from like like Larpin is there, like the Geralt's dwarf friend, like Dandelion is also there, but Dandelion looks like nothing like he does in the games. Like he's like this fat like a fat dude with a ponytail. Where there's a funny story with him and Yennefer, right? Oh man, like the genie story was funny as fuck, honestly. The humor is crazy. So yeah, it's one of those reviews where if I had time, I would have read it like all in one day and then reviewed it right after, but I didn't. So it's like one of those books where it's like, oh man, like each story, which like each comic is like 40 pages, by the way. So it's like 6 issues for $40 seems like a ripoff, but when you consider like, oh yeah, each issue is like 40 pages, it's like, it's worth it, dude. But it's each story is worth a review on its own, but like it's the thing where like I don't have the fucking time. I think Dark Side is Comics, or Cosmonaut Comics as he's called now, he did a review for like one of these comics. I think he mentioned that in the haul video. I had this checked out that review, but like, dude, this was an awesome collection. Almost makes me want to go back and read the Witcher books again, dude. Which I have like the first 4. But fuck, dude. All those books had like were drawn in the art style of the fucking Witcher games. So I doubt like the fucking I doubt they're still in print, dude. But yeah. So I've really enjoyed this book. I'm giving it 8 out of 10. I was gonna do X-Men month. I'm really into Warhammer, but summer is more for like I love to read comic books in summer. So like, we'll see. I'm gonna review X-Force by Peter Milk and Mike Alfred, and if I really enjoyed that, then we'll do X-Men month. Okay, peace out.